Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, we don't to let pop culture lair.
Oh, so happy it's Thursday. Before we get to anything, so those of you who saw the image I put up prior to just after the countdown, since it is only 14 minutes left in October 3rd, I want to get to that immediately. Those two men are the word hero is thrown around a lot. Most times it doesn't mean anything. But in the case of Master Sergeant Gary Gordon and Sergeant First Class Randall Shugart, they are what the word means. If you screamed out Google or Alexa or whatever and ask what hero is, this picture should come up. 31 years ago today, October 3rd. Obviously, a lot of you, any of you who know Black Hawk Down, know who these gentlemen were. These are the two Delta Force members who roped down to save Chief Warrant Officer Michael Durant from being overran in Somalia and Mogadishu in the Battle of Mogadishu. They requested several times and were denied several times to rope down and protect him because they were in helicopters watching what was about to happen to him. And finally, when it didn't seem anyone else was going to be able to get to him, their commanders allowed them to rope down. They gave everything that they had until they ran out of ammo and were themselves overrun. But those two men did buy Michael Durant time, at the cost of their own lives. 33 and 34 years old, respectively. They were young men. They were young men. They looked down at what was going on, and they had to know what their odds were when they committed to do what they did. They had to know that there was a good chance that they were not going to be coming home, but they could not sit up in that helicopter in that Black Hawk and let Michael Durant be overrun and die. This happened. I was in basic training. I was just wrapping up at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I graduated basic training in October of 1993, and this was happening. I only been a soldier for literally a month, and I'm watching what these guys are doing. The fact that I ever wore the same uniform and represented the same country as these guys did, I feel small. Because they are what the ultimate end could possibly be for everybody who dons the United States military uniform. And their mindset wasn't about them. Their mindset was, what could they do to keep their fellow soldier on the ground alive until help could get to them? What you saw in Black Hawk Down is a vivid interpretation of it. But from what I hear from everybody who's reported on the situation, people that the guy who wrote the book and Ridley Scott did the movie, they said that they hope they did what those men did on that day justice. Black Hawk Down isn't just a movie; it was an actual battle. Those two guys depicted, along with the 19 other servicemen that were killed that day, legit heroes. Legitimate heroes. Like I said, the word hero is tossed around, and I everybody's guilty of it. But when you're talking about Master Sergeant Gordon or Sergeant First Class Jugard, that's the real deal. That's the standard. And I was, my entire Army career, I was proud to wear the same uniform that these gentlemen did. I was never anywhere near what they were, but I was proud to, in some way, shape, or form, be affiliated with these two gentlemen. Every year on October 3rd, on most of my social media, mostly my personal social media, I recognize these two gentlemen every October 3rd. And sometimes it's earlier in the day, sometimes it's later in the day, but I do not let a year pass where I do not recognize these guys. I am in awe of what they are. If I ever were to own a football stadium or a sports team like that, I'd name the stadium after these two gentlemen. They already got ships named after them, but I don't think that's enough. All right. Whew. Had to get that out there because this is the first time I've had a YouTube show when I did that recognition. So I wanted to make sure that I got that out there. All right. Brad's power's back on. So that motherfucker should be coming around here pretty soon. He did not see Joker 2. I did. I gave my review, and that's the link. I put the link in the chat. Hello, everybody. If you would like to support the channel, you can become a member. I forgot to tell Vince to make that publish that for the members first. That's my fault. But I'm going to start treating you Patreons and you members with a little bit more exclusivity because you guys really help support. The other ways you can support are the super chats. You can recommend watch parties and stuff like that. Because of Fourth 1000, I will be enduring next week Terrifier 3. And when it comes out on digital, we'll be doing a watch party for that. But this weekend, today was pretty chill. Today, my only two things were going to make sure that I had my DC stuff, my All In stuff. Oh my goodness, I read it. I read All In #1. The event that Scott Snyder was teasing to let you know something that Darkseid does that creates the circumstances that absolute DC exists. And I didn't guess I'm not going to spoil it for you here. I will have a spoiler conversation over the weekend when we do our comic book turning point stories. What they did here was masterfully done. And just a glimpse that they give you in Absolute DC #1 is if that's what we have to look forward to on this run, this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope everybody who's remotely interested in this storyline buys it. Because like I said, it looks like it's going to get right. It gets started with a bang, but like I said, there's something that happens with Darkseid that creates this, and it's really cool. And they put it out in a flip cover to where the standard universe is on one side and the absolute universe on the other, and they both converge in the middle, so that they're telling the two different stories that are leading to the same one. I'm gonna have a lot of fun selling this. I thought Absolute Batman and all that came out today. I didn't read my solicitation right. #4 of DC All In, #4 that was out, and Absolute Power #4 came out. That leads into All In #1, which leads into everything else. So I am right now, and they got reorders. They're already going in the second print, which is going to be a collector's second print. So it won't be some garbage one that lowers the price of everything else. It's going to be exclusive with variant covers. There's a crap ton of variant covers that are coming with this. I have some of the Absolute Power #4 variants that came in that are really cool. I put those up on the site. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super, super excited about this. So let's see if okay. So Brad will be here soon. I saw that. All right, let's start with that. Okay, I saw Joker 2 earlier and thought it was horrendous. I'm not going to say it's horrendous. No, I don't even think it's bad. It's not great though, and Everything is see. This is what I think when movies suck. I don't have that much of a problem. I'm like, oh, that sucked. Let's try to find another movie to get that one out of it. This movie wasn't a bad movie. Joaquin Phoenix makes me feel everything he feels as Joker or Arthur Fleck. Lady Gaga is great when she's on screen. I didn't think there was enough of her, and that's part of the problem. Is I don't think that they even tapped on the potential that she could have been. But there was greatness that this movie could have been, and it's just not. It's a good movie, but I didn't go from Joker 1 to Joker 2 to see a good movie. I went to see a great movie. If you like Joker, the original one, there's still enough in Joker 2 to give you the bare minimum. But even if you did like that, I think you might agree with me, is that when you hear about this, you hear who's in it, there's greatness left on the table. I was hoping when I first saw Joker 1, I always tell you guys, halfway through it, I'm like, there has to be a sequel to this. There's no way. And this was before I knew how much money it was going to make. Because at that point, there was development left to be done. The problem with Joker 2, it's, like I said, not a bad movie at all. I'd still recommend seeing it because anybody who tells you it's the worst movie of the year, come on, yeah, whatever. I wanted to see them expand on where they left off and not stay in the same wheelhouse. I thought a lot of this movie was because it was basically, it's a courtroom drama type of situation. I wanted to see him out in Gotham. I wanted to see him causing chaos. I wanted to see him manipulating hoods and Gotham Crime Syndicate. I wanted to see him doing that. I wanted to see him doing Joker stuff. I didn't need a further, exploration into what we already explored in the first movie. Even with that being said, out of 10, I gave it a 6. Just based on Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga's performances alone. Everybody who's on screen does a great job. I just don't think they were given as much as they could have been given to work with. The plot is basically an augmented plot from the first one. He's pretty much on trial and dealing with the immediate aftermath of what happened in the fairly immediate aftermath of what happened in the first film. I didn't think a sequel was the space to do that. I want to see Joker out in the streets. I want to see Joker, causing the kind of mayhem. And they glimpsed that, like the cult personality he has in Gotham City. I thought that was great. I just thought they could have used it more. There are points with it, like I said in my review, it didn't need to be as long as it was, to be honest with you. If they weren't going to use certain aspects, then they didn't really need to make this movie as long as they did. The music doesn't kill it for me at all, but it doesn't propel it for me either. And there were times, like I said in my review, to where sometimes where I thought the intensity was about to get elevated, then they started singing. I'm like, fuck. And then the songs, for the most part, are medium speed songs, so they don't really carry the momentum of the movie. I'm not one of those people who say, "Oh, they did need to make a sequel." No, they needed to make a sequel. They just needed to make a one that raised the stakes. This sequel doesn't raise the stakes. If you like the original one, a lot of what's in the original is in here. I don't think it's as intense because in Joker 1, his psychological situation was crumbling at a high rate, and then as it did, the intensity went up. This movie, he's pretty much already there. There's really no escalation. His situation is what it is. So I thought that in order for him to escalate where the first one left off, he needed to be out amongst the city, causing chaos, causing crime. I thought the setting was too combined. But once again, worst movie of the year, I don't know. All films are subjective, but you can't tell me that you're telling me that you haven't gone to the movies this year if you tell me that Joker is the worst movie or one of the worst movies. You're basically telling me that you skipped like a good. There's like 5 or 6 movies that are just absolutely horrendous that came out this year. Joker's not even anywhere near that. Performance wise, the actor's performance alone puts it up there be far beyond anything like that. But like I said, there are some people who went and you know, they call it the worst movie. Some people thought it was good. Most of the people that I surveyed, most of the people that we sent, you know, because I sent people out on pocket because Warner Brothers didn't even push this one. Liked it but didn't love it, and that's kind of where I'm at. This had the potential for me to love this movie, and it just wasn't there. It came up short for me. But horrendous, I wouldn't use horrendous. Violent nature is horrendous. Madam Web was horrendous. There's been some horrendous movies in 2024. This is not even in that. This was actually, in my opinion, a good movie. It's just I think the bigger disappointment for me and a lot of people is it's not as good as it's definitely not as good as Joker 1. But it's not, it in itself, eliminate Joker 1 from the equation. It in itself is not as good as it lays the seeds to be. So that's where I'm at. How you doing, Azteca? Yes, those are the two. Those are the two. Those are the two. Prior to them being honored, Delta Force really didn't exist. It existed, but you didn't talk about it. You know, Detachment D, Delta, the 160th Special Forces Group, you just didn't talk about what they did because that it was their top secret unit. But you know, they're and a lot of what happened in Black Hawk Down. A lot of people don't realize that even though we lost 19 soldiers, and you never want to lose that many soldiers in one day, you never want to lose one. One is enough. But they also killed 2,000 Somalis. And they achieved their mission. Their mission, a lot of people forget because of how it was portrayed, you know, media-wise, is their mission was to get in and arrest two Mohammed Farah Ardid's lieutenants. They did that. That mission was accomplished. The problem was the execution of the pullout is they were dropped in by helicopter, and then they had a convoy that was supposed to get them out. Well, you had Al-Qaeda, you had a lot of terrorists that saw that logistic in that supply chain, and they were able to cut them off. Even with them being able to cut them off, the amount of Rangers that you had and Special Forces and everything else was still only not even close to a quarter of what they were surrounded with. And they were able to maintain their position, and they killed estimated well over 2,000 of the enemy that day. And I remember Colin Powell. I think he was still he may have still enjoyed chief of staff, or he'd just been retired. Having been fought as an infantryman in Vietnam, he says, you know, I know that 19 deaths as a commanding officer, somebody who's had to write those letters, 19 deaths is never something to celebrate. But in Vietnam, 19 killed versus 2,000 killed, those odds would get most of you home every day. You know, every day of the week, twice on Sunday. So. That's what I said. Black Hawk Down wasn't just a movie. It wasn't just a news story. This is an actual real life mission, and those two men are real life heroes. Hello, Clint. Clint was with me tonight when we saw it. Let me see it. I'm going to watch the Joker 2 when they come out on stream, but please understand that more people will be talking about the Joker 2, whether negative, positive, than Deadpool. Yeah, it's possible. Like I said, Joker 2 is not a bad movie. I didn't leave the theater saying, oh, wow, what a pile of shit. But no, I left the theater wondering, wow, I wish they would have gone this direction. I wish they would have expanded on this. If you were going to sing songs, I would have liked for the songs to be at pivotal points in the movie that propelled the movie. What they did was fine. My expectations were probably my problem because I wanted them to go up for when they were at. I wanted to expand on the territory. You know, I wanted to see Joker interact with more people than just prison guards and, you know, and court staff and judges and stuff like that. I wanted to see, you know, they accomplished that mission in the first Joker. They really, in my opinion, I don't need to, you know, any more about what the professionals think about Joker's psyche. I want to see Joker's psyche unleashed on Gotham. That's what I want. Wasn't a big fan of the ending, but then again, I've seen great movies. Nope, and Us were great movies, but with shitty endings. So, but that's just me. I do think there are going to be a significant amount of people who do end up liking this movie. Once again, it's not a bad movie. It's just not where I really wanted it to go. That's subjective, though. I heard a lot of the stupid reviews. I heard a lot of shitty reviews, and once again, I try to avoid that out of my head because you guys, I'm giving you my opinion. You can tell me to go fuck myself if you want, because it's your money, it's your experience, it's your moment. I'm telling you, by no way, shape, or form, I would recommend it if you like the other one. But you as an individual can completely ignore what I have to say and go see. I've seen plenty of movies where like I said, they've been absolutely destroyed by critics and some audience members. I've gone and seen it, and I was happy I saw it. So I am like I said, good movie, potential to be great, and it just wasn't great. Now, if your standards for spending any amount of money are greatness, then maybe you know what, you're gonna have to decide that one on your own. No, Black Hawk Down was based on Mogadishu, Operation Gothic Spirit in 1993. What was happening is the Somali warlords were stopping the UN shipments of food, and they were raiding the food, and there was a famine issue in Somalia. So the United Nations and the United States went in there to safeguard those shipments, and that's how that happened. But yeah, this was in 1993 in Somalia. Happy birthday! How you doing, Droga? Chappie, what's going on? Let's see. Yes, stupid thanks on the videos. The videos like the review we just posted. If you want to do that, you can as well. Like everything helps keep the channel going and upgrade the channel as well. William, based on what you've seen on both of them in live action, what do you think is more powerful, Aquaman from DC or Namor? They're about the same. They're about the same. They both have superhuman strength. They both, I mean, Aquaman communicates with sea animals different, but Namor, I think Namor can, depending on who's writing, can do the same thing. They're basically the same character. I saw Joker, and all I can say is it's definitely going to be a Rob Zombie Halloween 2 of this generation. Oh, oof. Halloween 2 sucked. No. This movie is much higher quality than that madness. No, yeah, that is not a good comparison. You both are on something. Halloween 2 is fucking horrible. How you doing, Ozzy? Um, what, dude? Um, uh, there's a lot of trailers in general that don't do a lot of me. I still go see the movies because sometimes people botch the trailers. I mean, I've seen trailers that were good, and then I got in the movie. I'm like, I want my money back. This movie sucked. And then I've seen trailers that suck and gone to see the movie. So I'm not. I've been watching movies long enough not to be swayed either way. If I'm going to go see a movie, I'm going to go see a movie. Now, there are some instances that, like with Thunderbolts, where I was still 50% probably going to go see Thunderbolts no matter what, but the trailer pushed me over the edge. That's not very often for me, though. Usually, if I'm into the movie, I'm going to go see the movie. Like, I didn't need to see the Nosferatu trailer the other night to know that I'm going to be there either on Christmas Day or before to see that movie. So, for me, I'm different. I know other people are different. There was another one that we were watching. What were we watching? What was that? They were showing a trailer the night to where the trailer was just not good at all. I forgot what it was. We watched the trailer on the show, but everybody was excited about it. I'm like, just judging on that trailer, I wouldn't go for it. But then again, when it comes out, it depends on how I feel. Trailers don't really move me one way or another most times. There are exceptions. Let's not even discuss piracy on the site, guys. Please. What are we doing here? Okay, well then you're in your own world, and you have a right to be there. I thought Joker, the original Joker, was phenomenal. Well, listen to the thing. Deadpool made $1 billion, and no one needs to talk about it anymore. It did what it did, and now it's on streaming, so it's going to make even more. So I'll give you last 8 years when it comes to DC as compared to Marvel. Oh, now because you have the Hamada regime and all those guys putting out movies that should have never been made. So I don't know. I think it's a wash, Antonio. I think you might have a tie there for different reasons. You might have a tie. Well, yeah, when you put the potential that Joker 2 could have been and the expectations, that you might get somewhere with me there. But if you're gonna say it's the worst movie, there's no way you either didn't see it, in my opinion. It's my opinion, you didn't see it, or you didn't see any other movies this year. If you're calling that what movie of the year. See, I'm a little bit different on this one, Bradley. I didn't think it was bad at all. I still think it was a pretty solid movie, but it's not what it could have been. It's not what it should have been, in my opinion. You have everybody that made that epic there. You have fertile ground. You don't even have to really think real hard to make up a story. You just allow the progression that started in one to bleed out into Gotham. That alone would have made it. But yeah, I wouldn't put it in me personally. This is me personally. I wouldn't put it in a bad category at all. I would lose a lot of lost potential there, though. Especially I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think Todd Phillips, is going to do it. There's no third one to do. I mean, I don't think, but I still think that they could have done a lot better. I would have gone with a different direction with the story, but that's just me. It's not my movie. Hi, Ruthie, my favorite Scotty. Uh, hey, you know what? I know you. I don't know if you're trolling me or not, but there's going to be some people because, like I said, if everybody goes to the movies for different reasons, and so everybody's got different standards. So I can't even knock you if that one, if you're saying it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Disney. That's Chapek. Yeah, you got Madam Web. I like I said, in the Violent Nature was awful. I mean, yeah, when you like I said, that's just hyperbolic. I think there's just no way you could be. Hold on, let's do something real quick. Let's do something real quick. Let's do a. All right, let's look up some of the ones that have come out. Let's do that. Okay, I haven't seen Megalopolis, so let's see. Madam Web, The Strangers Chapter One was awful. Borderlands I saw was awful. In a Violent Nature was awful. Let's see. I'm just looking. Sasquatch Sunset. I don't even want to know. Night Swim was bad. I didn't see Boy Kills World because I can't deal with that guy's voice. The Watchers was bad. Trap was stupid. Trap had the potential. I don't think Trap should be on this list, but I there was just too many things that happened to it. It was like, okay, I give up. Argyle. Oh my God, Argyle. I keep forgetting Argyle was even released. Argyle was bad, and then it got worse once you start realizing what the plot was and a lot of the stuff, a lot of the twist. Ugh. Yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry. There's just 2024 has been a big year. They sort of delve into that. I wanted them to rile them up. I wanted them to rile them up and actually use them, but fair. That this is right. Right, you're in the same arena I am in. That third act wasn't didn't help it, in my opinion. Not the worst third act I've ever seen, but it didn't really didn't really land the plane. And no, it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It didn't have the, like I said, it just didn't have that punch to it. Like hello, SA Nostra. Yeah, I had a giant pretzel, but not like the AFC pretzel. The ones at Galaxy Boulevard are big, but they're not like the ones at AMC are as big as a small child. No, I have not. I barely had time to see Joker. To be honest with you, um, I want to go see it because it's Francis Ford Coppola, and he doesn't really have a lot of films compared to certain directors, and he really doesn't direct a lot the last 30 years. I mean, what does he mean, like 3 or 4 movies in 30 years? Came out of retirement for this one, so it's one of those concept movies. I might watch that on the big screen here. I might have to pause that a bunch of times to actually feel it. Yeah, it's gonna flop. Yeah, that's true. How you doing, Taladia? It's hard for me to take these series critically. It's like they just watched Disney Channel 20 years ago, and that's the entertainment they like. Yeah, like I said, everyone goes to the movie and takes away a different experience, and that's great. But it's a solemn experience that like I said, everybody's going to feel differently about movies. I mean, there are some movies that that people have said that are all. I mean, just it's your moment. So less and less do I regard critics, as far as in aggregates and my fellow fans for the matter of it, because we're all different. Just look at the diversity in this chat room alone. We're all maybe into similar genres, but we're not all into the same movie. I mean, your different things make us pop for movies. It's a different experience. And like I said, movies are also expensive. So if you're gonna spend that money, make sure you feel good about what you're about to do. Don't worry about whatever. Don't even worry about what I say. It's your mind. It's your money. Your time. Your moment. Now I was, dude, no, no, no. Those guys are high speed. Those guys are like dedicated. You know, uh, Halloween 2 is awful, but hey, if you enjoyed it, congratulations. Halloween 2 is stupid. I felt like the first by Rob Zombie, but the sequel was just dumb, and I can never get into stuff. But I listen. You have more regard for one than I do. I think both of his Halloween movies are awful. And once again, when you're trying to do Loomis, you can't replace Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance was more to that role than the script was. His voice, his cadence, is it is the role. I don't know. Oh, okay, I'm just getting his message right now that he gave me at 11:40. Got to be up earlier than usual tomorrow, so I'm gonna need to sit out tonight, unfortunately. But we'll be back on tomorrow. Okay, so no, Brad will not be with us tonight. Oh yeah, well, I don't know if I'm ready to put some of these in the BBS. There's a lot of things that went around with BBS, and then the whole everything else that's tied into it. But you know what? Yeah, no, solid. It's still a solid movie. I'll disagree with that. But my expectations were much higher than the movie delivered. That's all. But that's a far cry from something being a horrible movie. It's not the same thing. I could give something 6 out of 10 and it'd still be solid. If it wasn't solid, it would get a 3 or less. So I didn't have a problem with it being a musical. I just, if you were going to put the music in there, I think they should. Whenever you add any element to the movie, I think it should be to move the plot forward. But I don't. I just don't think it did a good enough job. There are some song things that were in there, that I thought were cool and well placed, and then others that I thought would have been like, okay, uh it was empty calories is what I would describe that movie. Okay, Chappie, you're on something. Rob Zombie 2 is not better. Neither Rob Zombie movie is better than any Halloween movie, let alone one of the better sequels ever done in horror. I refuse to watch that. I fucking refuse to watch that movie's got a giant spider thing in it. Fuck that. Yeah, yeah, he put a lot of money into it. It's got a lot of stars in it. Um, we're supposed to do VHS Beyond tomorrow. I might do Salem's Lot because I want to watch Salem's Lot. I want to watch it's on Salem's Lot. A lot is on HBO Max. It's just hit Max yesterday or a couple of days ago. I really want to watch that. So we're either gonna watch that one or I don't want to do horror watch parties in the daytime, but we may have to. If we stick to VHS Beyond tomorrow night, then we would have to do Salem's Lot on a Saturday afternoon, which kind of I don't know if I want to do that. I have to figure it out. Yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. I just like I said, we showed last night they're starting to advertise that AEW is advertising All In with DC. I thought they should have done it, back when they had All In Wembley Stadium, because it was kind of cool, but it was too far away. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some synergy there, and I think you're definitely going to see some comic books, you know, crossover. I think that has to be part of the new deal. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Wrestling's always gone in and out of the comic book industry. Why? I mean, they would just be depicting their own wrestlers. They wouldn't be like, they would be doing like they would be doing John Moxley comic or something like that. They wouldn't be doing anything else. It'd be limited. No, people getting pushed off a skyscraper is shit that they would do in their matches. Yeah, I saw that. Wow. Damn. Eminem's gonna be a grandfather. Tony Hawk's a grandfather. Kurt Cobain would have been a grand. Well, he is a grandfather, but he just didn't get to see his kids. Courtney Love is a grandmother. Oh, it's weird. No, you keep getting me kicked off. No, Ruthie. I got all those trailers I showed the other night. I got demonetized for each one of me. They sent me little letters saying we cannot do that. And then in some regions of the world, I guess my show's not airing because of that. I wouldn't say that. I I don't know because I've only seen one thing that he's really direct. I mean, he was involved in all three of those Halloween trilogies, but the first one was, I think, the only one he actually directed. I don't know where John Carpenter is director wise. I mean, he can direct a vampire movie, but there are other directors out there. But he'd be all right. He would be all right. I don't know if John. If you see, Blade would be an MCU movie. No, we're not talking about like a Wesley Snipes. That situation is done and over with. If you do Blade now, you're doing it so that you can fit in Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know if John Carpenter would want to make a movie to fit in someone else's world. He's old school. There's not that much music in it. To be honest with you, it's not a musical. There are musical notes to it, but it's not a musical. And I think that was when that was over. That was over. Like I said, there are some songs in it, but I wouldn't classify it not nearly enough to make it a musical. And it's not 2 hours. What's bad faith about the idea? Curious. Just checking. X out of that. Oops. Get out of that. Get out of that. That was stupid. Click. Uh, that not one of my favorites. Ghost of Mars wasn't bad. Not one of my favorites of his, but no, I have not. Probably gonna be a short show tonight. Let's see how many people have watched my video. Cool. I'm just doing a lot of prep for the weekend. Like I said, I don't think that relationship with Marvel and Disney would work. I don't, because John Carpenter is pretty much earned the right to do things his way, and I don't think that relationship would work with Kevin Feige. If he were like earlier on in his career, maybe, but you're talking about a guy who's pressing 80. He's not gonna. I don't think he'll make the necessary adjustments unless Disney came to him and said, you know what, you make a movie that we want. We don't need to make any adjustments with you. But they're not going to do that. So, all right. So yeah, I only had two thumbnail items. Just an extended review of Joker 2. I have the review that I put into the chat. And like I said, I can't contain my excitement for what DC's doing in their comic book spirit right now. We're going to go into depth this weekend over that. We're going to we'll do a spoiler review of All In #1 and where we go from there. Because the week afterward is when all the heavy hitting books start coming out. When Ultimate Batman comes out, which is going to sell out. Ultimate Wonder Woman and all these other ones are already selling out. They're already on their second printings, and they haven't even hit the shelf yet. Both of those characters are C-level characters, but it's going to be up to them where they can fit. You could easily fit both of them into larger stories. I don't want to see a movie. I don't think there needs to be a single Blade. I think Blade is an awesome character that you could use in conjunction with other things that are going on. I don't have a real hunger to see another Blade solo movie. I have zero desire to see Nova. I don't even have any desire to see Nova in comic books, let alone on film. No, I did not. I never ordered them. Sorry. Like I said, I don't have a desire for the character. And a solo movie, personally. If I got it, I would go see it, but I'm not like it's not on my top. It's not on my priority list, and I don't think it's on Disney's or Marvel's priority list. To be honest. Natasha interest. Blade's time in the sun. I saw what you did there. Has come and gone. It's time to put that character on the shelf for a while. All right, so tomorrow night we're gonna watch VHS. I guess we're gonna watch VHS. It's either gonna be VHS or Salem's Lot. I gotta figure it out. But whatever one we don't watch on tomorrow night, we're gonna each of our Friday nights we're gonna do a horror watch along. Maybe a few, maybe a double feature. Who knows? But I guess we could do horror movies in the daytime. It just doesn't feel right doing horror movies in the daytime. But then again, I used to watch Friday the 13th as a kid at Saturday afternoons. So, Yep, next week, Stewart Comic Con. Probably see some DCU stuff there. Maybe even a trailer or a teaser. I don't know. Definitely, we'll hear some stuff about All In. So, there you go. All right, guys, if you are watching on Twitter right now, please do me a huge favor and come over to where you see right below my head, youtube.com/at the Sci-Fi Center. Sign up, hit the bell, like, subscribe, join us, and so that you can join the conversation here. Because, like I said, while I love you watching on Twitter, it doesn't help us as much. I'm never going to be monetized on Twitter. I don't know you. I don't even know how to get monetized on Twitter, but YouTube is where it's at for us. So if you can come over to this family, I would love it. It would be great for all of us. All right. Oh, I see. Film Junkie has got his. He was watching it at the same time we were. So I'm going to watch his review. No, I didn't see the tweet. What's this? You didn't put no pirate link in the chat, did you? Oh yeah, I got all these streaming services. So if we are watching VHS tomorrow, I got us covered. We will do that on the Twitch one. Okay, so yeah, we might do a watch along tomorrow. With VHS, or we might. What would you guys prefer? Salem's Lot or VHS tomorrow night? Should do a poll. I think I'll do a poll. All right, guys. That's it for tonight. We will be back tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be on Junkie tomorrow night. All right. If he sends me a link, I'll jump on there for a little bit. Probably talk Joker. And then later on that evening around 10:30, 11 o'clock, we will do either VHS or we will do Salem's Lot. I really want to see Salem's Lot, but I know we had committed to do VHS as well. So, all right, that is it for my absent co-host, Brad. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, and we will see you tomorrow night.